From the outside, it looked like Tanya Blount was destined to be one of music's next big stars. Her voice was undeniable, her talent clear, and she had the kind of charisma that captivates. But somehow, Tanya's story took an unexpected turn, and according to some close to the music industry, there may be a reason why her career didn't explode the way so many thought it would. And that reason, they say, is Diddy himself, allegedly. The whispers of what happened behind the scenes are enough to make anyone wonder if Tanya might have reached the heights of stardom if not for one critical decision. Let's break it down, starting from her roots. Tanya's background is rich with culture. Born to an Afro-Panamanian mother and an African-American father, her childhood was filled with diversity in both tradition and faith. On Sundays, you'd find her in Baptist services, surrounded by soul-stirring gospel sounds, while during the week, she attended a Catholic school, singing in the choir. It was a blend of influences that would later shape her voice into something truly unique. But it didn't stop there. She went on to study psychology at Morgan State University, where she also joined the choir. It's almost as if Tanya was always meant to sing. Wherever she went, music followed. But her big break, the moment that put her name on the map, was her role in Sister Act 2, Back in the Habit. If you remember, she played Tanya, and her duet with Lauryn Hill on His Eye is on the Sparrow became an instant classic. For Tanya, that movie wasn't just a stepping stone, it was life-changing. So, what happened? According to industry rumors, things started to take a turn when she crossed paths with Diddy. Tanya reportedly stood firm in her values. Allegedly, she wasn't interested in partying the way Diddy expected. For those in the music world, this decision can be monumental. It's said that if you don't play by certain unwritten rules, doors can start to close. And that seems to be what happened with Tanya.
It's Tanya Trotter, formerly Tanya Blount. That was my name when I did Sister Act 2. And my name of the movie was simply Tanya.
Oh my God!
Oh, how are you?
Yeah, she's my whole life. You know that. I can't.
Tanya Blount's story is a haunting tale of ambition met with harsh realities. Her journey through the industry, and specifically with Bad Boy Entertainment, would mark her life in ways that went far beyond the music. She entered therapy haunted by deep despair and even struggled with unthinkable thoughts. Reaching rock bottom, she faced the ultimate test of resilience. Trying to separate herself from Bad Boy wasn't easy, and in her efforts to get out of her contract, she found out just how difficult it was to escape what's often been referred to as the Bad Boy curse. Her life spiraled to the point of homelessness, a brutal reality that has followed other artists linked to Diddy and Bad Boy. But Tanya's story is just one in a string of unsettling tales about artists who seem to have paid the price for their affiliation with the label. Take Craig Mack, for example. Craig was one of Bad Boy's earliest stars, making waves with his debut single that became a hit. But his story ended far from glamorous. By the time he passed away, he held nothing but disdain for the label. Craig was so fed up with Bad Boy that he told his closest friends and family to keep the label away from his funeral arrangements. Despite Diddy claiming Craig was the foundation of Bad Boy, it was rumored Craig left due to mistreatment and unresolved issues with Diddy. And in the end, he didn't want Diddy anywhere near his final goodbye. Then there's Mace, whose departure from the label took a unique turn. After his time at Bad Boy, Mace felt compelled to walk away and found a new calling as a preacher. But he didn't just disappear quietly. Mace has been vocal about how he felt Diddy's influence was destructive, calling it the devil's work. He became determined to counter Diddy's influence, even if his approach was controversial. Mace mentioned that years of negative influence were orchestrated behind the scenes to tarnish his reputation, and he felt a deep need to push back. His story underscores just how deep the impact of Bad Boy seems to run, affecting not only careers, but also personal identities. Loon followed a similar path, distancing himself from the music industry and choosing a more spiritual life after his time at Bad Boy. The same themes of disillusionment and lost potential echo through his story, as he, like others, walked away from fame to seek fulfillment elsewhere. And then there's Carl Thomas. Carl had a promising career that took a heavy hit when he lost a close family member. Instead of receiving the support he might have expected, Diddy reportedly called him only a week after his brother's passing, asking when he'd be back in the studio. This callous treatment during such a difficult time left Carl feeling undervalued and pushed him to distance himself from the label. And then there's Lil Jerome, who once had a future so bright that fans were buzzing with excitement about his potential. But Bad Boy's pressures seem to have dimmed his light, and Jerome's story is heartbreaking. When he was asked whether leaving the label was his choice, he described it as more of a breakdown, both mentally and physically. The industry's pressure took a toll on his health, so much so that he started to suffer from acid reflux, a condition that worsened during his time with Bad Boy. He had an entire album's worth of songs ready, but the project came to a halt as his physical and mental health deteriorated. His dreams were derailed by forces he felt powerless to control. Day 26's story also highlights the pitfalls of joining forces with Bad Boy. The group was assembled by Diddy on making the band, where they appeared to be on the path to stardom. But as Willie Taylor from Day 26 would later reveal, the experience was anything but uplifting. According to Willie, the contracts they signed and the environment on the show were designed to exploit and ultimately wear down artists. The setup seemed like it was structured to break talented individuals instead of building them up. Willie called it a learning experience, one that taught him to be careful with where his passion leads him. It was a hard lesson in how chasing dreams can sometimes lead to unexpected and painful destinations. Each artist's story is unique, yet there's a dark pattern that's hard to ignore. It's as if Bad Boy's shadow looms long after the music fades, leaving artists feeling used, drained, and sometimes even broken. What's it about Bad Boy Entertainment that creates this cycle of lost potential and shattered dreams? These aren't just isolated incidents. They paint a picture of an industry that promises fame, but for some, delivers hardship instead. Tanya Blount's story with Bad Boy Records is hauntingly familiar. Another case of incredible talent overshadowed by alleged manipulation and roadblocks tied to the label. Imagine being an artist with both the voice and the drive to make it big, yet having your path altered in ways that many say were beyond your control. Tanya's journey in the music industry has captivated many, and her experience is rumored to involve not only business complications, but also unspoken interests and conditions set by the label's figurehead Diddy. According to various accounts, Diddy had a strong interest in Tanya, not just in her talent, but perhaps romantically, and her refusal to party with him reportedly made her future at Bad Boy unstable. When allegations against Diddy came to light, Tanya shared her perspective on these stories in an interview on Bunny XO's Dumb Blonde podcast, giving rare insight into the pressures she faced. She noted, "Everything has good and bad. I'm really appalled with what I'm hearing now. I had protection, too, I was young, but I had a manager who told me, no, you're not going to that party. I also had God protecting me from whatever was happening. I really feel for those who experienced it." In her words, there's gratitude for those who shielded her from situations that may have changed her path even more. But there's also sadness, a sense of heartbreak for others who may not have had the same level of support or protection. As Tanya was navigating her career's unexpected turns, she found something extraordinary outside of the spotlight. She met her husband, Michael Trotter, in one of those rare, fateful moments that changed everything. Michael's background was worlds apart from Tanya's music industry experience. Growing up between Cleveland and Washington, D.C., he endured significant hardship, including periods of homelessness as a child. Music became a safe haven for him, with the sounds of Ray Charles, Johnny Cash, and Harry Belafonte as his sanctuary. But his true musical calling emerged in the unlikeliest of places, during his service in the Arab War. There, after the loss of his commanding officer, he was asked to perform music to honor his unit's fallen, and that purpose fueled his passion like never before. The turning point in their lives came at a music festival where Tanya first saw Michael performing. She was so captivated that she sprinted across a field in 4-inch heels, shouting, "Who is this guy? I have to know who he is." They exchanged numbers, though Michael lost hers in the whirlwind of that first meeting. Luckily, Tanya still had his contact and didn't hesitate to reach out. That call would lead to a creative partnership, as well as a personal one, that would endure through some of their darkest moments. They started by collaborating on music, with Tanya inviting Michael to work with her and her brother. During vocal training sessions, they both sensed an undeniable chemistry, a deep connection that went BL, R&B, and soul has resonated deeply with audiences, offering a sound that's both timeless and fiercely emotional. One of their most impactful songs, 5 More Minutes, was born from a profoundly dark time. In 2017, Michael found himself battling intense despair and, in a moment of crisis, felt like he couldn't go on. Tanya, sensing his pain, got down beside him, took his face in her hands, and said, "I know you have a time frame to end your life today. I can see it all over your face." But if you would just give me 5 more minutes to love you, I promise I'll give you a reason to change your mind." That single, heartfelt plea stopped Michael from going over the edge, and he later said that he's still living in those 5 minutes. It's a testament not just to the strength of their bond, but to their ability to find hope and purpose even in life's darkest places. Together, they've faced staggering hardships, times so tough that they even found themselves homeless. But they turned those experiences into the heart of their music, creating art that speaks to pain and redemption alike. They released their first EP, Down to the River, in 2017, and their debut album, Healing Tide, the following year, which cemented their reputation for deeply emotional storytelling. Their music has helped to create a devoted fan base, with many listeners drawn to their raw, unfiltered take on love, loss, and resilience. Despite their resilience and success, it's hard not to wonder about Tanya's alternate career path had she never signed with Bad Boy. Would she have become a household name if not for the alleged pressures and challenges that came with that contract? The so-called Bad Boy curse has been rumored to follow artists like Craig Mack, Mace, and Loon, individuals whose careers either stalled or took unexpected turns after being associated with Diddy's label. Craig Mack, for instance, reportedly went to his grave angry at Bad Boy, having asked his close friends and family to keep the label out of his funeral entirely. Mays, who left the industry only to return as a preacher, famously stated that he felt called to counter Diddy's influence with his faith, going as far as to say that if the devil could use Diddy's work, then God could use him to counter it. Loon also found solace in faith after parting ways with Bad Boy, stepping away from music altogether. Even Carl Thomas left the label after a profound personal loss when Diddy called him back to the studio shortly after his brother's passing, seemingly disregarding his mourning. And let's not forget Lil Jerome, whose promising future was marred by a nervous breakdown and physical health issues that arose while under contract with Bad Boy. He later revealed that the pressures of the industry, coupled with untreated acid reflux, took a toll on him during that time. Tanya's journey diverged when she left Bad Boy and found love, family, and renewed purpose through her music with Michael. Yet her story still echoes the broader experiences of countless others who seemed to flourish before being pulled back down, allegedly by the same label that once promised them success. Tanya now seems to be in a better place with a family she adores and music that she's passionate about, but her story leaves us all with one question. Did the Bad Boy curse prevent her from reaching her full potential, just as it may have for so many others? Share your thoughts below. Do you think Tanya's career would have turned out differently if she had never been involved with Diddy? Let's hear what you think. Tanya Blount's journey is a poignant reminder of the complexities that often accompany the pursuit of fame and success in the music industry. While her talent shone brightly, the shadow of her association with Bad Boy Records and its enigmatic head, Diddy, cast a long pall over her career. Despite the challenges and the alleged pressures that many artists have faced under his management, Tanya managed to forge a path of her own, finding solace and strength in her marriage to Michael Trotter and the music they create together. Their story illustrates the power of love, resilience, and the transformative nature of art. Through music, they turned personal struggles into powerful narratives that resonate with listeners, emphasizing themes of hope, redemption, and the importance of community. While it's impossible to know how different Tanya's career might have been without the interference of the Bad Boy curse, her ability to reclaim her narrative and create a fulfilling life is a testament to her strength and determination. Ultimately, Tanya's experience serves as a critical reminder of the often hidden struggles that many artists face behind the scenes. It prompts us to consider the impact past, but with admiration for her courage and the hope that her story inspires in others navigating their paths in the complex world of music and beyond. What do you think about Tanya's experience? Could she have reached greater heights? Let's continue the conversation in the comments.